Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the upcoming solar eclipse which is going to be taking place in between April 30 to May 1st based on your location. So now friends, this is going to be the first solar eclipse of this year 2022, and as you know this thing that the time of solar eclipse tend to remain little bit sensitive or fragile or vulnerable on the cosmic plane, and as happens above so happens below. So we have to understand the impact or influence of it customized to our planetary alignments, customized to our own chart. So that is something friends which we will try to do in this video. First, I'm going to tell you about the whole alignment, in which alignment this eclipse is going to be taking place. After that, we will try to understand the benefic or the vulnerable side of this upcoming eclipse. Trust me friends, I am a very positive, very optimistic person. Even if you will give me the most dreaded situation, I will still manage to take out some positivity out of it as well. And then at the end, we will try to look at the customized influence on all the ascendants and all the moon signs. So now friends, to begin with, now this eclipse is going to be taking place in the Aries sign. So in Aries, where sun gets exalted, sun is already placed over there, moon is going to be placed over there, Rahu is going to be placed over there, and this whole alignment is going to be taking place in the Bharani Nakshatra. Now friends, Bharani in itself is a little bit sensitive energy because ownership of Bharani goes to the planet Venus, and whenever there is a time of the eclipse on a emotional mental plane, this tend to remain little bit sensitive, very fragile time. Like a lot of the actions or crime or rage driven by passion, driven by emotions is something which is the natural phenomena, or which can be seen as one of the triggering factor of the eclipse time. So yes friends, because of the whole intensity and fired up energy of the Aries, this time the eclipse is little bit sensitive, little bit vulnerable. And friends, the whole planetary axis is going to be in a way that Mars is going to be conjunct with Saturn. Saturn would have just entered the sign of Aquarius, and Saturn is going to be aspecting the Aries sign with its third aspect as well. So because of which friends, there is definitely going to be little bit sensitivity or vulnerability where we have to monitor our actions, we have to monitor our thought process. Now friends, if you want to know about the visibility of it, so it is not visible in India where majority of the my audience are based in. It is not even visible in Vancouver where I am living in. But yes, there are parts of Africa, there are parts of Australia, parts of US where it is going to be visible. So you have to check in the software that basis your location, is it going to be visible in your region or not? What is going to be the time of the visibility of this eclipse if it is getting qualified in your case? And then you have to opt the kind of precautions that you should keep your life kind of bit minimalistic, or if you are a kind of person, because this eclipse is going to be taking place on Saturday. So if doing some sadhana or meditation, if that is possible, so you should give it a thought. So now friends, that is something which I just wanted to say about the basic alignments which is going to be formed at the time of this eclipse. Friends, you have to understand this thing that the ownership of Bharani definitely goes to the Venus, but the god or the presiding deity of the Bharani Nakshatra asterism is the Hindu god of death, which is the Lord Yama. So definitely friends, there is a lot of heated energy over here which can be attributed to transformation, which can be attributed to darkness, which can be attributed to paying back to your own deeds of your own karma. So because of which it becomes very important that you should keep your life little bit monitored, little bit at ease at the time of this eclipse. Now friends, like the way I promised this thing to you, so we will get into the benefic and the vulnerable side of this eclipse. So now first start with the benefic side. So now friends, you have to understand this thing that the time of eclipse is considered as very auspicious for doing any sort of sadhana, because the kind of state which we attain at the time when we are doing pranayam, the kind of state in which our subtle body gets into, the causal body gets into, so that is the same kind of state which gets formed in the in the sky, in the cosmos at the time of the eclipse, because Rahu completely overpowers the sun. So because of which your Sushmana get easily activated, and whatsoever mantra recitation you are going to do at the time of the predomination of the solar eclipse, the benefic side of it can be attained to many-fold. So because of which, friends, whatsoever your aspirations are, if your aspirations are of success, of fame, so you can think about reciting or doing the mala devoted to the Lord Sun, like the Gayatri of the Surya is Om Bhaskaray Vidmahe Divakaray Dhimahi Tanno Surya Prachodayat. If you have aspirations for doing something in the fields of art or creativity, you can think about worshipping goddess Saraswati. If it's about wealth, you can think about doing the Bij Mala or mantra chanting devoted to goddess Lakshmi. So whatsoever your aspirations are, the gods, the deity connected to those aspirations of yours, you can think about doing the sadhana during at that time. Now friends, when we talk about another benefic side of the solar eclipse, so definitely friends, what I have seen in my research is that the time of eclipse is something where definitely the wheel of illusion tend to remain very high, because Rahu has completely overpowered the luminaries. Rahu has overpowered the sun. But many times in all those charts, specifically all those people who have a majorly placed Rahu in their chart. Now, if you have strong Rahu in your chart and in your life you have got benefited because of that, so you must have already understood what I am trying to say over here. So like for example, even if you have a Kal Sarp yoga in your chart, if your like your moon nakshatra is of Rahu's nakshatra of Adra, Swati, Sadbisha, so in all those scenarios and situations where Rahu holds a major say in someone's chart, all those people can actually get benefited to an extent that you have to first give attention to what exactly is happening in the axis where this eclipse is taking place. So let's say for example, if Aries sign in your chart falls in the 7th house, if in your chart Aries sign falls in the 10th house or in the 11th house, so all the matters of that house, if there is some sort of hidden energy over there, you have been lacking some sort of breakthrough in the matters pertaining to that houses, so some sort of revelation, some sort of breakthrough can come in the matters of that house. Now friends, I will be very honest with you, do not quote me on this, because the possibility of that tend to remain very less. But in certain cases, people have got benefited, and I have seen that practically in so many cases. And specifically for all those people who are in the fields of politics, entertainment business, or anything to do with where the nature of business is completely akin to Rahu's nature, being in casino business, being in alcohol business, liquor business, arms business. So many times it has been seen that some breakthrough might come in the house where eclipse is going to be taking place, because Rahu's energy is going to be very strong. Now if it's the 7th house, in the matters of relationship, some sort of breakthrough can still happen. And friends, one last benefic side of this upcoming solar eclipse is that it's going to be taking place on a Saturday. So a new moon on a Saturday, that too with the energy of eclipse, can be seen as a very good time for doing the remedial measures for Saturn. So if you're going through the Saturn Sade Sati, or if in your natal chart your moon is afflicted because of its conjunction with Rahu, because of its conjunction with Ketu, and you follow the Vedic remedies like Vedic rituals and puja anushthan, so you can actually think about doing the mantra recitation, doing the japa, doing the donation, or if that is possible for you to get a proper, a formal ritualistic puja done by a full-time priest, so you can also think about or consider doing that on this day of the eclipse. Now friends, comes the vulnerable side, which is definitely going to dominate. So which is friends that definitely on the mental plane, the time of eclipse is very unsettling. Like all those people definitely and surely who are in the position of power, because in order for anyone to be in that state and position of power, majority of the times it's the placement and dignity of the sun which helps those people to reach the top of the leadership positions. And if you will find that Rahu has completely overpowered a strong sun, because friends, this time it's different, because try to understand this thing, during this time eclipse is taking place in a sign where sun is in its maximum dignity. So very strong, very empowered sun is getting overpowered. So in a way whatsoever is going to happen, whether it's gonna be bad, whether it's gonna be some scandal, whether it's gonna be some breakthrough, people getting exposed, all of that is going to be very big, very jaw-droppingly big. So because of which, friends, it becomes very important that if in your life you are in that stage where you have to take some important decision, or let's say for example right now Rahu or Ketu is activated in your life, you are going through the Antardasha of Rahu, you are going through the Antardasha of Ketu, you are going through the Mahadasha of Sun is weakly placed in your chart, then you have to remain extra cautious. Please take this seriously, because during this time, like from comparing it with the last year or last to last year, things were different. During this time, the whole energy is getting aligned in a way that Sun is in its maximum dignity, Rahu is in a very potent state, and because of the involvement of Bharani as well, there is a whole lot of energy of transformation, rage, anger, passion, repressed emotions. So because of which you have to remain little bit cautious that in whichsoever house this eclipse is going to be taking place, couple of days, like 2 days before and 2 days after, you should be very cautious. You should not take some important lifetime decision, or you should have a proper restraint and control over your instincts, over your impulses, over your aggression. So that is something which you have to be careful of. And also, friends, any actions which could cast an aspersion on your public image, on your name, on your fame, or if you work for the government, then you have to remain extra cautious or careful. So now, friends, moving our discussion to the next and the last section of understanding its impact customized to all the ascendants. So starting with the Aries ascendant natives. So friends, in your case, this whole alignment is going to be taking place in your first house. So definitely, friends, the matters of health needs to be given utmost care. The second thing is that, friends, definitely first house which tells about your public image. Let's say for example, if Rahu is a strong planet in your case, in any way, if the energies of Rahu has worked to your advantage before as well, then trust me, some sudden breakthrough can happen. But most of the time with this kind of alignment, you have to remain very cautious. The way you exert yourself, the way you project yourself, and your public actions needs to be very monitored, because the matters of your public image is definitely going to be in scrutiny. So whether it's gonna work in your favor, giving you some opportunity, or whether getting entangled in some allegation, so it all comes down to doing a thorough assessment of your own chart, activated dasha, and then following the remedies and the precautions accordingly. Moving right, friends, now for all the Taurus ascendant natives. So definitely, friends, in your case, it's going to be taking place in your 12th house. So you have to remain very cautious of your expenses. The second thing is that any clandestine, secretive activities needs to be avoided. Trust me, the time of eclipse is when the darkness is at its peak, and that too illusion with the influence of Rahu over there as well. So if life has kind of rewarded you in the past via engaging in any sort of nefarious or clandestine secretive activities, so this time it might come back on your face. So you have to remain very cautious, whether in the matters of your finances, financial handling, or whether in the form of not becoming a part of any secretive or questionable activities. Moving right, friends, now for all the Gemini ascendant natives. So friends, in your case, it's going to be influencing your 11th house. So friends, try not to be very much bogged down or being in a mode of very self-critical of the growth prospects of your life, because 11th house has everything to do with our progress, with our vision, with our goals. So let's say for example, if life has not been turning out lately as per your plans, as per your wish list, so try not to be very hard on yourself, and in any public setting you have to be at your best behavior. Any sort of aggression, any sort of frivolousness needs to be avoided. Moving right, friends, now for all the Cancer ascendant natives. So friends, in your case, this whole eclipse is going to be influencing your 10th house. So now, friends, as you know this thing, that when we talk about the matters of the 10th house, it has everything to do with our public image. The second thing is that because of your ascendant lord being a part of it, so somehow it becomes very important for you. Now, whether in your dasha, Mahadasha or Antardasha, Rahu is currently activated or not, whether in your natal chart your Rahu has any influence, any say on the moon or not, on an emotional plane this could be little bit unsettling. But again, friends, like the way I always say this thing, that the matters of the 10th house, which has everything to do with the professional endeavors. So if the energies of Rahu has worked to your advantage before, so during this time as well, some opportunity, some breakthrough can still happen. But over and above, friends, on an emotional mental plane, this could be a little bit unsettling time for all the Cancer ascendant natives. Your public image needs to be monitored, even specifically at the work front. If you think that you are being embroiled in any office politics, or your bosses are kind of putting false blame onto you, so it's better to be in this mode of being submissive, or being in a mode of procrastination, that whatsoever is gonna happen, or the way you want to defend or you want to put your stance, at least wait for a day or two of this eclipse energy to diminish, because during this time whatsoever you are gonna say, that might be used against you only if the energies of Rahu is not very auspicious in your life. But apart from that, friends, on emotional mental plane, you have to do sadhana, you have to do the mantra chanting and all sort of rejuvenating activities and practices to keep yourself at calm and at ease. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Leo ascendant natives. So friends, in your case, this eclipse is going to be influencing your 9th house. So that in itself means that for you guys, because whenever there is a solar eclipse is taking place, it's the Leo ascendant natives or the Leo moon sign people who actually face the heat of it, or who face the energy of it the most. But now friends, in your case, just because it's taking place in a very auspicious house, the house of luck and fortune, and your ascendant lord is exalted over here. So now friends, I can assure you, any sadhana, any chanting, any japa done by you on this day, like you do not have to do anything more, just the Gayatri of your ascendant lord, Om Bhaskaray Vidmahe Divakaray Dhimahi Tanno Surya Prachodayat. Even doing this mantra or this japa of this chant can actually give you very good results. So try to be at ease. Try not to get into any kind of debate or any sort of the matters of illusion or disbelief might try to kind of harm you, might try to surround you. So try to remain at ease, at peace with yourself, and just focus more on the japa on this day, and trust me, the returns of that is soon gonna be experienced in your life. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Virgo ascendant natives. So now friends, in your case, this is a little bit sensitive alignment, because it's going to be influencing your 8th house. So I would say that friends, if in your line of work, if there is any kind of secretive, clandestine activities, questionable acts, if that is getting qualified, so you have to remain a bit cautious. The second thing is that this could be on a sensual plane, this could be a little bit triggering time, because as you know friends, that the Bharani energy has everything to do with the passion, with the sensual aspect, and the lord of the Bharani, which is Venus, that is also exalted. And 8th house energy also carries all these unspoken emotions as well. So you have to be very careful, very cautious of your rage. All the repressed emotions might get triggered up. So you have to keep your life bit balanced, bit relaxed during this time. Moving ahead, friends, now for all the Libra ascendant natives. So now friends, in your case, this whole alignment is going to be influencing your 7th house. So the matters of partnership, matters of your relationship with your partner, all of that is going to get influenced during this time, or all these matters are gonna get triggered up. So I would say that friends, even in the matters of relationship, try not to be very quick to come to any conclusion, whether in the form of confronting your partner, getting flared up and triggered up because of some misunderstanding, some instigation. So try to remain and keep everything balanced, and even if you will run into any prospective match or person, so try not to be very quick to come to any conclusion. Give it some time, let energies of this solar eclipse get dissipated, then be in the best of your behavior. Moving ahead, friends, now if you want to understand the results for all these Scorpio ascendant natives. So now friends, in your case, this whole alignment is taking place in a very vulnerable house, which is the 6th house. So the matters of finances needs to be monitored, the concerns of health needs to be given utmost care, and the third thing is your relationship within your daily work environment. So trust me friends, any agitation, any aggression, any impulsive or rash behavior might get backfired. So if you think that your nature is something like that, so you have to keep it under control. Do the japa, do the mantra recitation, and do not get instigated or provoked. Many times friends, what happens is that we deep within ourselves, we know that the kind of situation, the kind of people, the kind of engagement which could bring out the worst of our side. So try to avoid, at least on this day, any sort of those exposure in your life. Moving ahead, friends, Now for all the Sagittarius ascendant natives, so now friends, in your case, the energy of this eclipse is going to be influencing your 5th house. So now friends, as you know that 5th house is the house of our intellect, our buddhi. So because of which friends, like there could be those possibility where you might get overwhelmed because of the thought of, pessimism, negativity, sensuality, all those repressed emotions trying to, pull you down. So try to keep a healthy balance. Try not to take any decision where there is a lot of risk and uncertainties involved. If your nature is very speculative, so this is going to be the time when you have to remain bit calculative and be at the back foot. Let the energy of this solar eclipse get dissipated, then you can be at the best of your behavior. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Capricorn ascendant natives, so now friends, in your case, this alignment is going to be influencing your 4th house. So now friends, as you know this thing that the energy of the 4th house has a straight connection with our deeper inner emotional state. So definitely friends, on an emotional pain, this could be a little bit unsettling time for you guys. The second thing is that if there is any important decision which needs to be made on the matters of property, on the matters of vehicles, or any home renovation or something like that, so try to avoid that. Try to keep your life little bit simple, minimalistic, do meditation, do yoga, align and re-establish your connection with the nature, go for the long walks. So that is how you should handle the energy of this eclipse. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Aquarius ascendant natives, so now friends, in your case, the impact of this solar eclipse is going to be influencing your 3rd house. Now friends, as you know this thing that 3rd house which tells about our siblings, our neighbors, our friends. So friends, the theme of this eclipse is all about rage, about aggression, about impulse. So because of which, if you by yourself know that that specific neighbor of yours or friend of yours just trigger you or bring the worst out of you, so try to avoid dealing with all these kind of people or these kind of energies. The second thing is that friends, 3rd house is a very self-willed house. This is the house of drive, of rage, of initiative, of impulse. So advice is that friends, even if in your line of work or as a part of your hobbies, there is a lot of adventure, there's a lot of risky activities which you indulge or be a part of. So it's my advice to keep it kind of little bit low. Like it's better to be at home doing japa, doing meditation, or just a simple walk, a walk on the beach or something. So if you can plan your life like that, that is going to be the best way of utilizing or handling the energy of this eclipse. The second thing is that friends, because your ascendant lord is being ruled by the planet Saturn, and this whole new moon is taking place on a Saturday. So even doing any japa, any donation on the account of your ascendant lord can also give more strength to your life. And lastly friends, for all the Pisces ascendant natives, the energy of this eclipse is going to be influencing your 2nd house. So now friends, the chief attributes of the 2nd house are your speech, your values, and your finances. And the theme of this eclipse is all about intensity, rage, aggression, impulse. So now friends, you have to remain a bit cautious regarding the matters of your 2nd house. Now friends, the beauty of this eclipse is that it's gonna be taking place over the weekend. So not many people will be working, specifically the working, salaried or corporate professional. But if you are a freelance person, you have your own business, so try to remain a bit cautious. Try not to indulge into any impulsive buying or selling. And also friends, when we talk about the way you speak, the way you express yourself, so definitely try to keep a restraint on your impulses, on your emotions, because driven by rage, driven by impulsive emotional outburst, many times people end up saying those things which they regret later on. So just try to keep a healthy balance in all these areas or matters of your 2nd house. So that is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for this upcoming eclipse, which is going to be taking place on April 30th on the Aries sign in the Bharani Nakshatra. For further more updates and notifications, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyawad.